And to get us there, we've broken this material down into 5 clear sections: the discipline illusion, systems over goals, the neuroscience of willpower, sleep and time blocking, and finally, practicing daily discomfort.
All right, let's kick things off with section 1, the discipline illusion.
Okay, be honest. How many times have you heard someone say, "I'm just not a disciplined person"? Or, hey, maybe you've even said it to yourself. The source text points out that this is a completely false identity. It's a trap. If you keep walking around saying you just aren't a disciplined person, you are actively pushing yourself further and further away from the life you actually want. You have to realize you're building a muscle either way. You're either building the muscle that says, "I do what I say I'm going to do," or you are building the muscle of making excuses. Shedding this false identity is step number 1. So this brings us to a massive reframe in how we actually define the word. Discipline is simply your ability to prioritize the needs of your future self ahead of your present self. That's literally it. It's not about being miserable today. It's just about making a choice today that the future version of you is going to be incredibly grateful for. I mean, your outcomes in life are really just a lagging measure of your inputs. Your future destiny is completely dictated by your current discipline, which flows perfectly into section 2, systems over goals. There is this really counterintuitive reality about goals. We are completely taught to obsess over them. But think about the Olympic Games for a second. Every single athlete competing in an event has the exact same goal, right? They all want to win the gold medal. The winner and the 99 people who lose share the exact same goal. So the goal absolutely cannot be the thing that determines the outcome. What actually makes the difference? The system. A system is just a collection of daily habits that accumulate into a massive outcome over time. And here's how the mechanics of that actually work. You only need a tiny, literal teaspoon of willpower. When you look at someone who eats incredibly clean and hits the gym every single day, you probably think, wow, look at all that discipline. But you aren't actually seeing discipline at work right there. You are seeing a habit. They aren't painfully forcing themselves every single day. The heavy lifting of discipline was really only required at the very beginning to get that habit started. Just 1 teaspoon of discipline to initiate the micro-habit, and then the habit takes over the heavy lifting. But look, obviously we're human, we mess up. And the source borrows this great concept from sobriety circles: falling off the wagon. If you have a bad week or you break a promise to yourself, you cannot identify with that failure. Don't spiral and start thinking you're worthless. The wagon is still moving. The opportunity is right there waiting for you. You can literally just jump back on the wagon right now. You don't have to wait for a new year or even a new Monday. You just sit down today, right now, and do a little bit of the right thing to spark that process again. Now for section 3, the neuroscience of willpower. Let's look under the hood at the brain's engine. Okay, I want you to meet the anterior mid-cingulate cortex, or the AMC for short. Scientists are starting to view this specific brain structure not just as the seat of willpower, but potentially the very seat of the will to live. When you do things you do not want to do, this brain area gets physically, well, it actually grows larger. Knowing this is incredibly empowering because it totally removes the shame of failure. When things feel impossibly hard, it's just your AMC asking for a workout. It gives us this mechanical, purely biological understanding of our own internal drive. But, and this is a huge but, there is a catch. If you do something hard that you actually enjoy doing, your AMC doesn't grow at all. For example, if you're one of those people who loves taking a freezing cold ice bath, you can sit in there for 10 minutes and your AMC experiences 0 growth. 0. But if you are terrified of the cold water, if you absolutely hate it and you force yourself to get in anyway, boom, high growth. The structure physically expands. The magic literally only happens when you do the things you do not want to do. All right, section 4, sleep and time blocking. Let's get into how you actually structure your day for this. The source outlines what they call a non-negotiable daily foundation, and it all starts the night before. Because let's be real, you cannot be disciplined if you are chronically exhausted. Sleep is the ultimate reset button for your focus and your emotional stability. Ideally, you want to be sleeping enough that you can wake up without an alarm. Once you're up, hydrate, get natural light, and this part is absolutely crucial. Protect your brain's linear focus by avoiding email and social media for the first 3 hours. Then, challenge your AMC. Do one cognitively hard thing and one physically hard thing every single day.
So let's see how this actually builds out your daily schedule. Instead of relying on those endless, soul-crushing to-do lists, we need to start thinking in opportunity blocks. Block 1 is roughly 6 a.m. to noon. This is usually your peak physical and cognitive capability window. Block 2 is after lunch, so 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. And Block 3 is the evening, where focus really starts to diminish. The secret sauce here is self-awareness. You usually only get 2 highly focused opportunity blocks out of these 3. If you burn out all your energy early, that second block is going to drag. You have to pay attention to your natural rhythms and time block your absolute hardest tasks for when your capability is at its highest.
Which brings us to our final section, Section 5, Practicing Daily Discomfort. It really comes down to 2 totally distinct mindsets you can choose between here. Emotional immaturity relies entirely on motivation. It seeks a sudden spark to do a hard thing just one time, and it completely lets feelings dictate actions. You know the drill. Oh, it's raining. I didn't sleep well. I just don't feel like it. If you lack emotional maturity, how you feel completely determines what you do next. But emotional maturity, that uses discipline to do a hard thing 1,000 times. The mature person stays the course even when conditions are completely suboptimal. They execute their time blocks whether the sun is shining or there's a literal thunderstorm outside. All right, let's pull all of this incredible source material together into a rock-solid 3-step blueprint. Number 1, protect your sleep and plan tomorrow tonight. Number 2, time block your day, ruthlessly guarding your peak hours from digital distraction. And number 3, practice daily discomfort to actively grow your anterior mid-cingulate cortex. The source calls discipline the literal bridge from what you see in your head to what you hold in your hand. And this 3-step blueprint, that is exactly how you cross that bridge. I want to leave you with one final, pretty provocative thought. We know now that discipline isn't about restriction at all. It is simply about making a trade. Your goals are just ideas without the systems to actually back them up, and those systems just need a teaspoon of willpower to get started today. So ask yourself, and I mean really think about it, what are you willing to sacrifice right now, today, to finally meet the future version of yourself? Use that teaspoon of discipline today. Thanks so much for joining me on The Explainer, and I will catch you on the next one.